Hey, good people, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you my review on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get right into the video. Let's talk about this movie that Kandi and Todd are producing with Drew Sidora as their lead actress. I think it's wild that Kandi is doing this video in her house. How many times have we seen The Real Housewives of Atlanta film inside of Kandi's house? Usually we always see the filming happen in her guest house. So the fact that she's opening up her main house for a movie where you have God knows how many people walking up and through your house is crazy to me. It really is. Drew even has said that she's uncomfortable because a lot of the bedroom scenes are actually filmed in Kandi's actual bedroom, in her bed. In her bed. Like, really, girl? I would feel very uncomfortable too. Kandi talked about her uncomfortability with Todd as well. Todd mentions the fact that he's trying to get his Tyler Perry on and use his own residence to film the movie so that he doesn't have to put out too much money. Because I think that they would have to put out like $600,000 or some astronomical amount to film at a different location. But for me, I think that would be worth it. Like, I'm also just wondering, does Kandi's guest house not have a main guest room? And if it does, why not just film in that room? It's just wild. Like I said, it's just wild to me that they're filming in her actual house, in her actual bedroom. Crazy. So Drew is talking to Ralph. He comes to Kandi's house. They have a trailer somewhere on her property that belongs to Drew. And so they're in there talking, and Drew is trying to tell him, everything about the movie and how she feels and how she relates to the character. And of course, her husband is only concerned about the provocative scenes, shall I put it, that she does with the other female. He wants to know, are you guys kissing? What's going on? I want to be there when everything happens. And Drew is like, it's funny that you've never asked me anything about this movie, and now you have all of these questions. She also says that she hasn't seen her husband smile like that ever. And I'm like, you've never seen your husband smile like that in all of the years that y'all have been married? That's crazy. But it's clear to see that these two, obviously, their relationship, their marriage is pretty much at this point done. I think they're just holding on. I don't know exactly what Drew is holding on to, and I don't know what exactly Ralph is holding on to, because she has throughout the season in her confessionals, like, mentioned, she has some trust issues with him. Maybe there's some infidelity and stuff like that going on. Let's move on to Marlo's event, where she basically honors people who have gone through the foster care system and made it out successfully. They have done great things with their lives, and it was really nice that she did that. Marlo is always, or at least as long as we've seen her on the show, in some way, shape, or form, promoting the fact that she's been in foster care and she's turned her life around, and that she wanted to do things to help other people or highlight other people who have done the same thing. So I give her respect and kudos for just remaining consistent with that endeavor. I would have loved to have heard a little bit more about the people's stories. I just feel like, she's like, this person does this or this person does that, but how did they get to where they are? What were the key factors to helping them get to where they are? What would they share with other people that have been in the same situation or are in the same situation right now but want help or need some guidance? But overall, kudos to Marlo. I really like the idea, and I think that it's something that's unique that we haven't really seen on reality TV before. So I like that. I like what she's doing with that. It was nice to see that Scott Lee came and supported. I know a lot of people feel like this relationship isn't real. I think that it kind of is. Now, I don't believe, just seeing how Marlo moves, that she can really be. Let me say this, I didn't, prior to seeing her with a guy on the show, believe that she could really be booed up. But it looks like, she might be able to be someone who has a man and can still be who she is. So I like the dynamic that I see thus far with the two of them. Marlo mentioned that she was going to feel a certain type of way if Sheree did not come. Luckily, Sheree showed up and showed out. That outfit Sheree had on was everything. Like Sheree's body, and I know we know this from just seeing her over the years, but her body is sick. Okay? Like when I'm 50 something years old, I want to look like her. I really do. Like, what do I need to do right now in my 30s to look like Sheree Whitfield? Minus what she's done to her face, okay? Because in that confessional look, that face is not given what hitting the way that it maybe the way that she thought it should. But everything else, Sheree girl, yes ma'am, you are beautiful. Anywho, Sheree shows up, and one thing about Marlo, I think because of her past traumas and situations growing up, she's always looking for people to have her back, show up for her. She really takes it to heart when people don't show up for her. She really feels like you could see like it really affects her. So I'm glad that Sheree was able to show up because baby, it would have been a mess if she did not. Moving on to Sonya taking her son to her doctor's appointment. I thought that that was so cute. It's a beautiful, beautiful family moment between her husband, her son, and herself. Dr. Jackie, paging Dr. Jackie, is her OBGYN. Like, whose baby has Dr. Jackie not delivered in terms of the Atlanta elites? Because black elites, that is. Because I feel like every time somebody's having a baby, it don't matter what show it is, if they're in Atlanta, they are seeing Dr. Jackie. So it was good to see her, and I thought those glasses that she had on were fly. Okay, enough about that. Sonya including her 5-year-old son on the journey of being pregnant and letting him know early on that she was pregnant resonates with me because I did the exact same thing with my 5-year-old son when I was pregnant with my middle child. He was actually the first person that I told. And I know you're not supposed to do this to kids, but I told him not to say anything to his dad because, of course, I wanted to plan something special to let him know. But each of my pregnancies, I have 3 kids. He's the oldest. For each of the other 2 pregnancies, he was legitimately the first person that I told. So that definitely resonates with me. I don't know. People say that, I guess people are saying that that's not good or whatever based upon what Sonya said in her confessional. But girl, I don't see nothing wrong with it because I did the same exact thing. Let's talk about this party that Sheree threw a sip and see for her granddaughter, Mecca. Now, we all know, and I don't know why it comes as a surprise to people, when these housewives or reality TV stars throw parties for children under 5, the party is not for the child. The party is for the adult. It just is what it is. Whether it's a birthday party, a christening, a sip and see, or whatever, the party is not for the child. It's for the adults. Okay, like I don't know why that comes as a surprise to us. But let me tell you something. Sheree showed up and showed out with this party for baby Mecca. I thought it was absolutely stunning. The colors, the balloons, the decor, everything was top notch. Sheree spared no expense. And I'm quite sure that she definitely put out for this party because that planner that she had, he don't look like he play. Okay. But it was just beautiful. Sheree looked stunning. The baby, when they did her reveal and she had her little train and she was in that whatever it was that she was in, that cart type of thing, that stroller, beautiful. It almost gave me, y'all remember when Phaedra had, I think it was, I don't know if it was Phaedra's baby shower or like her son's first birthday. I don't know what it was, but Phaedra had a party similar where she was like brought on by like a horse and carriage. It kind of gave me those vibes a little bit. But like I said, Sheree knows how to throw a party. Remember season 1 when she had, I don't know if it was a birthday bash or whatever it was that she had. That was her introduction or our introduction to her as this grand party host. And I'm glad to see all of these years later, she has not lost her touch because honey knows how to throw a party. So we see her husband, ex-husband is there. Martell Holt shows up. They take a family photo and the women are looking at this young, beautiful, dark-skinned woman, this young, beautiful woman, and wondering, is this Sheree, is this Bob's girlfriend or like who is this woman? Because we've never seen her. We know who Sheree's family is, and this woman is not a part of that dynamic. Kandi was the only one who said, maybe that's a child of his that we don't know. I thought it was very interesting. that she would say that. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have thought that. Of course, there are similarities between the two, but it's not like, dag, she looks just like him. I honestly feel like Sheree's daughter, Callie, looks more like Bob than his older daughter. But I don't think I would have been able to put two and two together the way that Kandi did. Come to find out, it is Bob's daughter, and this party was the first time that Sheree even allegedly knew about this young lady. Now, I don't know how many kids Bob has. I only know the two that he has with Sheree, plus this young lady that we see here tonight. But he also mentions somebody else and another person, and how this young lady is between those two people. So I don't know. I don't know anything about him, like I said. I don't know if she came while he was married to Sheree, dating Sheree. I don't know the circumstances surrounding the whole thing. I know these women were baffled at the fact that this was his daughter. Like, they just could not believe it. When he sat up there and told Sheree, so the ladies actually, if I'm not mistaken, told Sheree that this was his daughter. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, Bob was once a piece of ish and he still is a piece of ish. Let's smile and take this picture. Like, it didn't really seem to phase Sheree. And I know a lot of people say, especially Kenya Moore said in her confessional, that Sheree kind of puts on this face so that she doesn't show that she's affected by these things, but later on she might have a blow up or something about it. I don't know if this is one of those situations. I feel like Sheree knew about this young lady. I don't know when she knew, but she knew about her. Bob says, or the young lady says to Sheree that, I've been to a couple of family functions and I've been around Callie and I've been around Cairo. So she's alluding to the fact that they know who she is. And I just find it hard to believe that they know about their half sister, but they never shared that information with their mom. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, but I think that Sheree definitely knew about this young lady. Not to mention, this party took place at her house. And we know how these women are about their houses, which is again why I'm so shocked with Kandi, but I digress. We know how they are about their houses. They're not just going to let anybody come up in their house. So I'm sure Sheree was like, who are you inviting? He told her. And, like, she knew. I just don't think that she would have somebody in her house and not know who that person was. I don't think she would be standing there taking a picture with someone, a family picture, and not know who this individual was. I just don't think that she would have done that. That's my personal opinion. Also, let's talk about Drew and Sheree's former assistant, and also Drew's former assistant, or whoever he was to the two of them, Anthony or whatever his name is. He's just so messy. Drew comes to the party, and I guess she saw him walk in right before she was ready to get out of the car herself, and she calls Kandi and she's like, I'm not coming in because somebody there assaulted me. And Candy's like, oh yes, I remember, I wasn't even thinking about that. She comes outside, her and Mayetta, they're talking. Apparently Anthony threw a shoe at Drew. So when Kandi goes back into the party, she kind of confronts him and says, what happened? What went down with you and Drew? This is what she's saying. He's saying, no, she threw something at me. They're going kind of like, and now this is a gateway for him to tell his whole story about how he feels about Drew, which, don't nobody want to hear that, because I think we as a collective, as the fans of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, don't really trust Mr. Anthony and what he has done thus far or tried to do on the show. Like, he's literally tried to get his 5 minutes of fame, and we're not here to see him anymore. So let's, it is what it is. I think it was best, just by how he was acting, that Drew did not come inside. Kandi did mention to her it's a big house or whatever, but after seeing, like I said, how he responded to Kandi, I'm glad that Drew just decided to go home. That was the best thing she could have done. Last thing I want to talk about is Miss Kenya Moore's friend. I thought that this lady, I don't know her name, but when she first introduced her, I thought, okay, she's a pretty woman. We're going to get a little something from her. We've gotten absolutely nothing. Like, why is she on the show? Because somebody help me understand, because aside from her and Kenya having that play date date they had with their two girls, I have not heard this woman speak at all, and we've seen her at least two other occasions. Not to mention the color that she had on didn't even match Sheree's color theme for the party. She stood out as a sore thumb too, and honestly, I would have been like, nah, I gotta go home. I don't feel comfortable. Everybody's in these colors, and here I am in this blue suit. No, ma'am. I kind of believe that Kenya put her up to that, or Kenya set her up for that, because Kenya knew good and well the color scheme that Sheree asked for. Remember, her and Kandi spoke beforehand, so she was aware. Why, when she went to go get her friend, or her friend came and got her, did she not say to her, girl, you're not wearing the right colors, you're going to have to change. Come in my house, I got a little outfit for you to put on, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was weird to me that she would allow her friend to come out like that. But anywho, I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts on that as well. Tell me what you think about this whole episode. I think this was really entertaining. I think that Bob Whitfield, say what you want about him, but he is good TV. He was funny to me. He's a person that just don't give a you know what. He does not care what anybody thinks. It is clear and evident that he doesn't. And I know he is a terrible human being. Some might say. I don't know the man personally, but I find him to be very entertaining. We saw a little snippet of Apollo and his current wife. I was kind of wondering, like, what are the dynamics between Apollo and Kandi? Because you guys know that he, talking about Apollo, had a little falling out with Todd, and we know that obviously Phaedra and Kandi are no longer friends because of Phaedra's false accusations. So I'm just wondering what that leaves him and Candy's relationship as, if anything. We did not see them together at all. We just knew that he was there, and obviously she was there as well. Did they speak? What's the dynamic between the two of them? You guys let me know what you think, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Please remember to subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.